Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I didn't get to film an intro for this video, but we're going to be exploring the Chassahowitzka River today, and I brought along our very first guest, my fiance, Hannah. She's a great scuba diver, paddleboarder, and pretty much does everything related to the outdoors. We ended up exploring 8 different springs, and make sure you stick around for the end of the video because I got lucky and got to swim with some really special animals. So if you saw my last video, you saw that my GoPro died before I even hit the water. And the same thing happened today. It's fully charged. Oh, there's a manatee right next to Hannah. It's fully charged, but I think it's the cold weather. I don't think it can handle this kind of weather out here. There's so many manatees right underneath us. There's a big one right here. There's a pelican. All right, we'll come back for the manatees later. I'm not sure what spring we're gonna go to first, but we're gonna head down this river. Look how shallow it is. This is only like 6 inches deep, maybe. Oh, there goes a belted kingfisher. Don't know if you could see it. I'm actually not even paddling right now. This is strictly just the wind taking me along this river. So there's a few springs we're going to today. Some are on the left side and some are on the right side. We were gonna hit the right side first, but I changed my mind. We're gonna go to the left side because I think it's more popular over that way. And we're here kind of early and I think we're the only ones out here right now. So we might have it to ourselves if we're lucky. There's some kind of eagle up here. I'm not sure what kind, it's hard to see him. It's not a bald eagle. I have a feeling I'm going to talk about it a lot on this channel, but freshwater palm trees are way better than saltwater palm trees. If you know, you know. Okay, so we made it to the creek that, whoa, holy cow. Yeah, I almost just busted it. But this creek takes us to a few springs, but it's so shallow, so I don't know how we're going to do this. We might have to walk it. So I almost just lost my mind because I thought I found a mammoth tooth, but it's just a piece of driftwood. But these lines definitely make it look like a little mammoth tooth. This is all brackish water, so the spring that we're going to actually has salt water that comes out of it. And some of these fish are little saltwater fish, and I just saw a school of largemouth bass. That's how you know it's brackish water, when there's saltwater and freshwater that kind of mix together. So our first spring is just through this little canal, but as you can see, one of the hurricanes knocked this tree over. So I have to figure out how to get in through there. Oh, I wonder if I can go on the other side. Oh yeah, other side, much better. Ooh, and I'm snagged. All right, so we made it to the first spring, and a telltale sign of that is there are Florida gar all underneath me right now. We haven't seen any Florida gar, and they are notorious for hanging around freshwater springs. So there's the limestone cliff and there's a spring right down there. I don't know what the gar are doing, but they're just hitting the top of the surface like that. The river is starting to widen up and it's crazy because I'm seeing so many varieties of fish. We have saltwater, we have freshwater. I just saw a blue crab right next to a largemouth bass. So you see all of this limestone right here. This is actually the ancient ocean floor. This was all underwater at one point with whales, dolphins, sharks, all kinds of marine life swimming through here. And you can see the remains of an ancient coral reef right here. All right, we're at our second spring. It's right over here somewhere. It's about 20 feet deep, but it's just upstream of our first spring that we just went to right over here. So it's really tropical back here, and lots of palm trees, lots of blue water, lots of Florida gar. Both of these springs are called Baird Spring. There's a little catfish right there. Woohoo, we made it to spring number 3 on this trip. This one was a little bit further upstream, but we got one more to go to, and it's really special. Doing all right, Hannah?
Yeah, doing great.
So we're actually having to walk the rest of the way because it got way too shallow to paddle. But I'm okay with it because it's really cool out here. Okay, so we just rounded the corner and we made it to the crack. This is our 4th spring for today, and we are the only ones back here. The guy at the boat launch told me that as the day goes on, it'll turn into a zoo with people, but there's no one back here right now. Let me take you over to the actual spring itself. Okay, I had to take a detour. Got a little bit too deep over there. Yep, here it is. This is our 4th spring for today, and you can kind of see why they call it the crack. It's this limestone ridge right here and another limestone ridge right there. It just creates this crack in the limestone, and it goes down pretty deep too. Can't even see the bottom. But I can't believe we have it to ourselves. So in my last video, I talked about how you can't get any more Florida than a manatee and a bald eagle, but I actually don't think you can get any more Florida than a pub sub at Florida Spring. I'm so excited for this. I was going to bring my camera underwater, but it's kind of murky, so there's really no point. I still can't believe we're the only ones. But I am going to take my drone out and I'm going to fly it around and see what kind of shots I can get with that. Emma found her own little spring, and she wants to name it Hana Spring. So we're gonna name it Hana Spring, and we're not gonna count it as the springs that we've been to. It's so tiny. All right, we got a lot more springs to get to today, so we're heading out. A lot of this today, pushing our boards through this shallow water. My fins are getting snagged on basically everything. All right, we're back out at the river, and I only fell once on my board, not in the water. Still good. You already know what I'm gonna say about these palm trees. There's a little manatee in the water right there. Oh, there's dolphins right here. All right, we made it to the creek that takes us to our next spring. It's really windy, so it's gonna be a fun paddle on the way back. You know I'm in paradise with all of these palm trees. There's so many of them, thousands everywhere. We just paddled a few miles downstream. Now we have a couple of more miles up this creek until we get to the next spring. You can see the water is getting a lot clearer. That's also, oh, there's a bald eagle. Anyways, the water is clear, and that's also another telltale sign that you're coming up on a spring somewhere. The water was very murky when we first entered this canal, and now it's basically almost crystal clear. So we got another eagle, and this one's a golden eagle, like the other one that we saw earlier. And they're pretty uncommon in Florida, but you'll see them along the coast and near estuaries. Okay, so apparently we're at our next spring, but I don't quite see it yet. I don't even know what number spring this is for today, but you can definitely see the difference in water clarity right here. I mean, look at the difference in the terrain we were just in. We were in that canal with somewhat murky water and palm trees everywhere, and now we're in this really hidden creek with a spring somewhere near it. So I had to ditch the paddleboard right there because there's too much brush to get through, and I thought I had a long way to go, but the spring is actually just right there. I didn't even realize I was this close to it. And we are really in the middle of nowhere, and I'm sinking down to my knees in the mud. What's crazy is this spring I was least excited about for today, but it ended up being the most beautiful one since the crack was kind of murky, but this is like crystal clear spring water coming out of the ground right here. right, so my phone's about to die. Figured I would just film on my 360 camera. But I didn't film any of the trip back because it was really windy. And like I said, my phone was about to die. We saw a lot of cool stuff. Hannah and I actually did the total of how many species of animals we saw today. And it was right at 28 so far. 28 different types of birds, fish. We saw dolphins, manatees, crab. It was really cool. So we're gonna go to our next 3 springs. We have Crab Creek Spring, the Chaz Main Spring, and then Seven Sister Springs. And we're actually camping here tonight. So if you want to see us set up camp and make some campfire food, stick around for the end of the video. So I think this is called Crab Creek. And there's a spring that's right up at the head spring. Sorry it's so windy. I don't know if you can hear me or not. All right, we're at our next spring, and this actually looks like it has multiple springs all within one area. It's here, and there's a boil over there, and there's one back here apparently. But the water is crystal clear. You can see straight down to the bottom. This is beautiful. Also, imagine having this house right here with your own little spring. You could just swim in whenever you want. I'm extremely jealous. Let's go to this spring over here. Crystal clear water coming out from underground. You said there's one over here? Yeah. Okay, Hannah says there's another one over here. Oh yeah. Wow, look at that. Crystal clear. I can't even see the bottom. Imagine just waking up, having breakfast, drinking your coffee, coming out here, hanging out with the family, taking a quick little swim in your own little spring. These are super cool. I wasn't really stoked to see these either, but they have definitely impressed me. I didn't realize they were going to be this pretty right here.
It's so warm. It's like bath water.
So we're coming up on our second to last spring. I don't even know what spring number this is, and there's so many manatees out here. They're all sleeping on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not even gonna try to count the rest because there's so many. There goes a baby coming up for air right there. But this is our head spring. I might actually swim in this. The water is very warm. Yeah, I'm gonna swim in this. We're actually going to go to our last spring, which is down this way, Seven Sister Springs, and then I'll come back and I'll swim in this. We're coming up on our final spring for the day, and I feel like we've gotten lucky all day long, and we're just getting lucky one more time. There's no one here. We're going to be the only ones here. And look, you can see the spring right below me. Look how clear the water is. It's called Seven Sister Springs. There's little swim throughs and they all connect, so you can swim back and forth. Okay, I'm definitely getting in.
Yeah, I'm jealous that...
Are you not getting in?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Okay, Hannah's getting in. I ended up going back to the head spring, and from my paddleboard I couldn't see any manatees, but I decided to swim anyways. As I dove down to around 15 feet, I got a really cool surprise and noticed there were still 2 manatees that ended up hanging out and swimming with me for the rest of the day. This was pretty much the perfect way to end our day on the water. Some of the best fire starters in Florida, if you're ever stranded, are on these cabbage palms. These little boot jacks right here, you can actually just pull them back. And they have this husk in them. And it stays dry during hurricanes, big storms, year round. You can get fire starters from this. Alright, we're making some dinner. We're gonna be doing steaks, potatoes, peppers, onions, and Hannah and I are both actually starving right now. Fire's still good. We're gonna cut these little potatoes in half. You just put all of your ingredients into this foil. You just throw it on the fire. Alright, we got a white onion. I'm not a pro at cutting onions, but we're gonna do our best. This might be the biggest red bell pepper I've ever seen in my entire life. This thing is huge. Okay, now for the big boys. The steaks. I marinated these last night. I didn't have a lot, so I just did red wine vinegar and some minced garlic. Just gonna chop these up. Hit them with a little bit of salt, a little pepper, and some Omaha steak seasoning. Hit them with a little bit of cooking oil. It's time to get messy. You want to make sure that's all even and right in the middle. And we're just going to wrap it up. And you also don't want any holes in your tin foil because you don't want the juices to leak out. And we're going to double wrap it. All right, and you just want to put these on hot coals. You don't want to put them directly over the fire. You just want them to kind of simmer on the hot coals. It's really hot. And we'll just let that sit there for about 40-45 minutes, and then we'll check them afterwards. And now we wait. I can hear them sizzling too. Okay, they've been on the fire for exactly 45 minutes. So we're gonna flip this over very carefully. Oh wow. Oh my gosh, it smells so good.
Okay.
Taste test.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's hot. Oh.
Is it done?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
1000%.
Okay, so the camera died in the middle of us doing the taste test, and we were so hungry I didn't even put the camera back on charge until just now, but that food was so good. We're gonna cook some s'mores now. We're gonna hang out for the rest of the night, and we'll see you on the next video.